400 million in closed deals after being a professional athlete, dropping all the game for you. So if you wanted to be a loan officer, or you wanted to figure out how to get your foot in the door as a father, this is the episode for you. From his side, let's get it. El, what's up, man?
Man, happy to be here, bro. It's been a long time.
Big dog.
Yes,
The
sir.
big dog.
Yes,
This
sir.
is my point guard right here. If y'all didn't know, he was my point guard. I was a rusher though, but this is my brother for sure. But today he's giving y'all game on the $400 million plan. The $400 million. 400 million? Say it with me. 400 million. And I said 4. All right. So, El, how you feeling? What's good, man?
I'm feeling good, feeling blessed. Definitely happy to be here, man.
For sure.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
Of
real.
course,
Yeah.
of course. And I just want to say that just hearing that number, 400 million, like what goes into the mindset behind you doing that type of volume? 'Cause I know it's not normal to just go do 400 million. Not a lot of people say I've done 400 million.
Sure.
What's the main focus when you have to go accomplish getting $400 million closed in funding?
Yeah, bro, that's a good question. So for me, I've never really thought about 400 mil, especially when I started off, So to get here to this point, the main thing for me was not focusing on the end of the race, but just putting my daily deposits in, being focused, doing what I have to do before I clocked out. So, and then over time, then we could see that production.
Over time, that 400 million popped up, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and just so people know, the goal was to get to the league. The goal was to not be a professional, not be in finance, but it was to actually be on the court. So what goes into the transition of being a professional athlete to now being that guy when it comes to the loans and getting everything funded?
Yeah, bro. I mean, as most hoopers, right? We got NBA dreams. We trying to go all the way.
Trying to get there.
Yeah. Grow up watching Kobe and everything. So that transition was not the easiest thing.
Right.
But for me, I wanted to find something where I can manage my own time, where I have unlimited potential to make money. And a semi-competitive environment, right, to relate back to sports.
Oh,
so for me, that was sales. Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Sales.
And for those of you who don't know, sales is a dog-eat-dog world. And if you're watching and you're in sales, then you know this. But I think that one thing that people are missing is you're also a father.
Absolutely.
So I think, can we speak about that and how that also threw a little bit of fuel in that fire, you know what I'm saying, to make you go get it?
Absolutely. That was a gasoline tank for the fuel. I'm telling you, preparing to have, I have a beautiful daughter, Amor.
Shout out
to Amor. Shout out to Air, my wife.
Down. So y'all back up 400 million and taken. All right, go ahead.
That's right.
I got you.
So for me, man, honestly, having the flexibility to be around while my daughter is growing up, to be there for those milestones, to help teach her and give my wife support, because raising a child is not easy, as you know.
Yeah.
So so that was definitely the fuel to that, is finding a career where I can also not be disconnected from my family on a day-to-day.
What's going on, y'all? Hope y'all enjoying this conversation. If you haven't already, join the Skool community below. We've done over $500 million in deals and counting. If you want to know about vending, AI automations, real estate, being a loan officer, we got Grammy Award winners in there. So if you do music, everything that you can think of to actually build wealth and get to it, we have it inside this group, proven. Click the link below. I'm giving you a 7-day free trial. Let's go. And so is that something that was just like instilled to you when you're younger? Like, I need to be around? Because I know growing up and just playing sports in general, it's grind, put in the time. Nothing else matters. Even when you're playing professionally, you're away from your family. Not saying they don't matter, but the goal is to get the bag playing basketball. So can you talk a little bit about like how your mindset shifted from I'm always away grinding to like, okay, no, I have to still grind, but this is the priority?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess it was indirectly embedded in me with my parents. They were around a lot. They helped me a lot. My parents always supported me in everything that I did. But growing up being an athlete and the youngest child, I was by nature selfish, just being an athlete, especially being overseas away,
Yeah.
and having a child, starting my family first, then having a child definitely made me want to. I mean, it forced me in a way to not be so selfish, right?
I got you.
When you become a father, when you become a husband and then a father, you
hmm
your tier goes down in a way, right?
For sure. For sure.
So that was definitely the factor for me that helped me be less selfish.
So piggybacking off of that, how do you go, okay, look at the numbers. I done did 400 million. I still got to be less selfish. Not like I'm the man when I walk through type thing, but like I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like how do you stay humble in that?
Definitely appreciating the support that I've had to get there. It
Okay.
wasn't a one-man show,
Understood.
so I've definitely had a lot of support, that kept me humble as well. And another thing that keeps me humble and focused, after hitting 400 mil, still raising my family, everything like that. Well, really to me is setting new goals too, right? So it keeps me on track. It keeps my frame of mind where it needs to be, just in regards to providing for my family.
It's OD right now.
It's trap.
Bro, this is a side street. Y'all not let me go down here. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah. So another thing that really, I guess, would say keeps me humble and keeps me on track is reframing my goals. Right when I hit certain milestones, having something else to attain to, it keeps me in that frame of
I
mind.
like that. I like that. Just so basically everything that you had in hoop, you just translated over to be a
Exactly.
killer on this side of the court.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it. So if you had to pick, I guess, one thing that was like the linchpin of you realizing like, oh man, I can do this. Like what deal was that where you like, oh, okay, I can do this?
It wasn't necessarily a deal.
Mm.
Okay, so I spent my first 2 years of my career doing retail loans for Loan Depot, high volume, less pay per deal, right? And so I got to a 2-year mark, and I looked back, and a mentor of mine was basically telling me, just going through some phone conversations. We were kind of listening to recordings, just helping me get better on my diction, my delivery. And he's like, you do realize that more than 98% of people when it comes to real estate. So it was just the realization of what I had been through, the work that I put in, and just my studious behavior that helped me, gave me the confidence really to understand.
So I think we even talked about it. When you're in it, you don't really realize what you've done because you're taking it day by day, brick by brick. But then when you look back and you built 3-4 houses, you're like, oh, you do got somewhere to live.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a pun, by the way, too. So I got you. Okay, no, I feel that. And I think to me, that's like a clear indication of like how you were raised, the work that you put in. You feel what I'm saying? The grind that you had, what was considered difficult to other people was normal to us, the practices, them early mornings. So I think I just even hearing you, like, 98% of the people, it's like that doesn't come by just accident. You had to put in that work.
That's right.
And I think that's from basketball, and I think that translated beautifully according to the number. I mean, yeah,
absolutely.
It did its thing. So what was the first deal that you did to make your family think like, oh, he's him? For your family's like, oh, we good. We out the hood now.
Really good. So for me, that first deal was actually, I'm taking calls. I'm working at Loan Depot. I'm taking calls every day. Whatever comes in, I pick it up. I try to work it. And I spoke to an experienced investor on the phone. He was looking to refinance one of his rental properties. And so everything worked out great. I got him a little bit of cash out and lowered his rate simultaneously.
Beautiful.
And so from that deal, he basically let me refinance his 12 home portfolio. So that was the one where it was like somebody who's been doing real estate, who's been a real estate investor, trusted me with this whole portfolio. So that was the deal.
So the biggest deal, not the biggest deal, but I'll say the deal that made you realize, okay, I'm doing this for sure. I'm doing this. It was when an investor came and gave you a 12 property deal to refinance.
Right. Yeah.
Man,
his whole portfolio.
I take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that also, and you can speak to this just from my experience, in doing just different things that I do with vending. I will go grab a location, and sometimes that location will have multiple locations. And since I did so well with that location without even knowing, it opened up doors that I didn't even know about. Like, oh, y'all got 5 more locations. That's beautiful.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the same situation as you. Like, you did your job, you did what you're supposed to do, and he's like, you know what? Come to finish these out too, because you handled your business so well. Is that sound
That's
correct?
a great analogy. That's what it is. And it came off of how you did that one. Now the investor, right, or the person at the location for your vendors, they already knew in the back of their mind what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
But they needed to see, you know, is this person trustworthy? Can they get the job done? Right. So that's exactly what it was.
So I guess from that is just always staying ready and always doing your best, I guess.
Yeah.
Always doing your best with whoever you deal with, because you see that deal changed like the trajectory of where you were even going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's big time.
Yep. It made me remember to treat every client like it was my only client in my pipeline.
Ooh, wait. That's a bar. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Tell them again. So you loan officers out there are people who are looking to get into the business. And let's keep in mind, he's not just a loan officer. He has his real estate license, life insurance, loan officer. So anything you need that's going to uplift your financial situation as a father, as a man, this is the man with the plan, the $400 million man. So let's just say that, okay?
Yes,
and he's giving you, and he's telling you the main tip. The main tip is treat every client like it's your only client. That's a gem right there. So y'all might want to write that down, okay? All right. So then let's move on. What made you realize that it was time to transition from hoop to that? I know we already talked about you being in it, but what made you realize, like, man, I got to transition to hoop? Because that's so tough for a lot of hoopers, man, to let go of that round ball that's got you through so much. You know what I mean? How did you know it was time to transition from basketball to you being now $400 million man?
Woo, man. It was not easy mentally. You know what I mean? It was not easy. So, I was playing in Southeast Asia. It was 2016. With my boy Trey Brewer. He had got me out there.
Shout out to Trey.
Yeah, shout out to Trey, man.
What up, Trey?
Shout out to Trey.
You know, really, that's my old roommate, by the way, and my old teammate, our old teammate. So shout out to Trey.
Yeah, man, great guy. He they needed a point guard at the time. He made it happen. But honestly, right? So I definitely got to shout him out. So that was my last season playing overseas.
Okay.
I was at this point in my life where, oddly enough, I was more homesick than ever, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I've been gone for years from the States.
Wow.
Just bouncing. Like, I left South America. I went straight to Spain, and then I went from Spain to Singapore in Southeast Asia. And so, you know, I was feeling that a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I was still healthy. And I was going through this back and forth in my mind, and I had a conversation with my dad. That's honestly what it was, you know. And Pops, you know, he had NBA dreams like I did.
I love hoop. Yeah, no, yeah.
So, but he's like, you know, a lot of people are forced to exit. So, you know, it's a blessing that you can exit on your own terms. But let's make sure the next step in life, you know, is, you know, where you want to be financially, everything like that. So, for me, I could have kept playing. I could have been looking for the next contract. As you know, playing overseas, it's a 1-year deal. Then you got anxiety in the summer till you get the next contract.
Yes.
I was over that, to be honest with you. So I was ready to transition. I just wanted to make sure that I landed on my feet somewhere where I can build.
That's fire, bro. Yeah. So for somebody, let's say somebody who is playing basketball, who is looking to is living that dream right now, what would be the steps they needed to take to even get started towards doing something like you're doing with being a loan officer, being a real estate agent? And what do you suggest them do first?
That's great. So the first thing I would suggest is just start to allocate some time every day into the subject, right? Your knowledge of the subject is going to take you a lot longer, a lot further than just getting a license, right? So that's the first thing. And that's what I did. I was just trying to learn about finance and how to grow a portfolio, learn about real estate, things like that. So that's what I was doing while I was still playing overseas.
Okay.
And then the first steps are really, you know, you got to take a pre-licensing education. You know, that's going to be somewhere for a few $100s, basically.
How long does that take?
You can move at your own speed, which is great for the athletes that are still playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to just knock it out like right away, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You can finish it in a few weeks.
A few weeks
Yeah.
to do pre-registration.
Yes.
I mean
the pre-licensing, once you finish those hours, right? 20 hours for a mortgage license.
Okay.
Then after that, you get a certificate, and that's what allows you to essentially sign up for the test for your license.
Okay.
And honestly, that's where the real studying starts to pass the test.
So that first 20 hours, just say, do you really want to do this?
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
Really want to do this?
It's a little barrier of entry. Like, yeah.
And then once you get through there, you're like, okay, now it's the real fun.
Mhm.
And that's when you get to, but then after, so then let's talk about the process of when you get through that, what does it look like in terms of, okay, now my first deal to where I can actually make money? What does that look like?
Okay. So once you finish the pre-licensing education, you sign up for your test, stretch it maybe a month or two out, right? So you have the time to study. You're going to get a big old packet. I personally took a crash course.
Okay.
You know, so that really helped me pass the test.
Okay.
Pass the test, you get your license. Now you have your license. Now there's one or two ways to go about it. I went and got my license first, then I started applying for jobs. Some mortgage companies, depending on the nature of the market, will bring you in already and then take you through pre-licensing, get you licensed, and you're already set to go. So for me, you know, I had my license, I started to shop, and I started to sit down and go through these interviews with different companies to see.
And what is there any, like, just for people out there, are there any companies that you suggest that people go to, or companies that you say, nah, I would stay away from?
For me,
and no disrespect to these companies, but y'all did it to yourself. But go ahead.
I mean, in all honesty, I think the route that I took is the one that I would tell other people to take, which is to start at a retail lender.
Okay.
So your Loan Depots, your Rocket Mortgages, before going over to the broker world.
Okay.
Because you get a lot of high quality leads.
Okay.
So it helps you get better, right? It's like if we want to relate this to the game of basketball, you can take 10 shots a day, or you can take 200 shots a day. Who do you think is going to get better faster?
1000%.
Yeah. So that's absolutely what it was. They provide the structure, they provide the leads. I come into work, I turn the phone on, and boom, I'm at it, right? So I think that it's good to stay there, but not to stay there forever, right? It's a good step.
Use it as a launching pad to get to where you want to be, but use that as, I guess, getting your reps in.
Yep, to get your reps in. Right? Yeah.
Okay, so all y'all hoopers out there, you already know, get your reps in, man.
Get your reps up.
Get your reps up, baby.
So I started retail first, and then from there, that's when I transitioned into the broker world after being in retail for a couple of years.
Okay, and this is a little bit on the ethics side, but what line won't you cross to get a check?
I'm not doing nothing illegal. I mean, at the end of the day, right? A lot of people don't realize just putting something inaccurate on an application is mortgage fraud, right? So there's a lot of gray area and flexibility within getting a loan done, and then there's just those dead stops.
Yeah.
When it comes to the dead stops, like, I'll do what I have to do to make sure that it's legitimate.
Yeah.
But when it comes to certain things, you know, just people putting things on applications. One example, right? If you're trying to buy an investment property, investment properties have higher interest rates.
Yep.
They normally require more money for a down payment.
Yeah.
So people will be buying an investment property, but they'll put on the application that they're buying their primary residence. So they can do a FHA loan with it, 3.5%, right? But at the end of the day, you know, it ain't no wrist slaps. They gonna come and snatch my license for that if I had prior knowledge of that, right? Now, if I'm just going off of what they told me, that's one thing. But I have in-depth conversations with my clients. I know what they're trying to do. I know what the objective is. So at the end of the day, if we need to save more, if we need to restructure, maybe we need to sell their credit so we can lower some of the closing costs. We'll structure it right. But I'm not gonna, you know, do anything that's on those lines of fraud.
And y'all hear that jargon he talking. He ain't talking that rookie stuff. He talking that $400 million talk.
Yeah.
So y'all need to listen up, okay? And I know you, but just even to the viewers, like, it's ethics first before the money. And I think that says a lot about you, but is that something that you want your daughter to see? Is that something that you want her to see? You want her to see how successful you are, but how you prioritize character and integrity first?
100%, bro. 100%. scamming is at an all-time high. It's so many schemes and things that sound good.
Yep.
And when you get into it, it's like, that ain't right.
Right.
And so, be an example to my daughter, right? I have to be an example to her in the sense that she knows that I did everything I did for my family
Yeah.
to get us where we are.
Yep.
And there's no risk of me losing it because I did something that wasn't, legal, or just from the concept of just maybe it was legal, but it wasn't ethical.
I
Right.
got you.
I don't want to teach that to my daughter because it can land you in a lot of trouble.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then also it changes your mindset in what you do day to day, right?
Yeah.
Like that line gets a little murky. It gets murkier and murkier and murkier till it's like, I ain't no line over there.
Absolutely. That's
So
how it goes.
I feel you on that. So let's talk about this. And we talked about the 400 million, but we haven't even talked about the $13 million in income producing assets that you sold, because you are a real estate agent.
Right.
So I know y'all look like hitting them over top of the head. I know. So do you really need 20% down? I know a lot of people want to know, like, do you really need 20% down to get in the house? That's what I need.
No, you don't. And you're speaking from an investor's perspective, or are you speaking from just anybody?
So let's say it's rough out here. Times are hard. Prices of houses are going up. I'm a new investor. I'm maybe building a family. I'm a father, and I'm looking to get a property. Do I need 20% down right now to get a property?
No, you don't.
Okay.
You do not need 20% down to get a property.
Okay.
That was the standard
Okay.
years ago, decades ago.
Okay.
There are tons of programs that you can get a home for less than 20% down.
What would I be looking at in terms of amount to put down to get into a property? Because I know a lot of people want to know that, because I know a lot of people are looking to get houses, and the renting is at all time high right now because it's very difficult to get in houses. But what will be the first step, I guess, to get me into a house right now?
So the first step is getting pre-qualified, right?
Okay.
Now, as far as the down payment goes,
Yes.
the FHA requires 3.5% down.
Okay, so only 3.5%.
Yeah.
So if a house is $100,000, I got to pay what, $3,000?
$3,500.
$3,500
for the down payment. Now, keep in mind there are closing costs on top of that. So when I'm telling someone about an FHA loan, I'm probably going to tell them that they need to save 5% of their purchase price so that they can cover the down payment plus the closing costs that are associated with the loan.
That's beautiful. What if somebody what if they're looking at their second property and they do have their first one, but then rates are a little bit difficult and they still want to get that second property? What would you suggest?
So I would suggest, if they have the flexibility, moving into the second property as a primary residence, and then they can rent out the property where they have probably a lower interest rate, lower payment, right?
Okay.
So the rent on the property that they're moving out of is going to supersede the mortgage payment, which means that's cash flow.
Okay.
We can use that cash flow to help them qualify for the new home. And doing it as a primary means that we're looking at probably 5% down or less. Yeah.
So you save money on the down payment, but also you take the other house off of your debt to income because it counts as rental income now.
Boom. That's it.
That is a cheat code. Y'all heard it from the man himself.
That's it.
Yeah. Y'all heard it from the man himself. That's brilliant. So then that's basically a cheat code to build your wealth then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a play.
Not always going to get that dream house first. That delayed gratification with the plan will actually help you build a portfolio faster.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So how have you used these strategies in, I guess, your personal life? Because I know you've already helped us with, our HELOC, because you're my guy and we've invested that in this. We appreciate you. That's all we're going to say. But how have you used it in your personal life?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be from, personally, buying a property, buying a condo. Now for me, one thing that I know being a loan officer is that the interest rate can be manipulated post-closing. By that, what I mean is I'm looking at an interest rate on paper. I got a condo, right? But for me, I always put at least one. I took that mortgage payment and I made 13 payments a year, basically. So I just shaved down a 30-year loan to basically 21 years, right? Just by putting extra. So what it did for me was it helped me build that equity faster. So as the value's going up in the condo, I'm paying extra. I'm getting the loan down further. So then I was able to leverage that property with a second mortgage, a HELOC, to go get another property. So it cut my timeline down from having to save up for my next property to being able to use this.
So basically, everything you just told us to do, you've already done.
Yeah.
So it's proof of concept, basically.
Proof of concept, yep.
I love to hear it. Hey, y'all, hope y'all enjoying this conversation. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to be dropping every Wednesday, full of game and tips on how to build your business and actually get to this wealth. We love y'all. I'm going to see you on the other side. For people who are watching, like fathers who are watching, and they want to be a real estate agent, what would they do to be a real estate agent? And what does that timeline look like in terms of them getting money to support their family?
Okay, absolutely. It's very, as far as the licensing goes, it's very similar to the mortgage license, right? You have to study for your real estate test.
Okay.
So you do your pre-licensing, very similar to a mortgage license. After that, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to start studying for your test and get licensed, right? Most of the time, from my experience, most brokerages want you to have your license first, but after you have that license, that's basically where you're going to go start to see which real estate company is the right fit for you. And so from that point, that timeline can be as little as, 2 to 3 months. Now, California, getting your license, the longest time is waiting for an opening for the test, actually.
Really?
So that time is just spent studying. Yeah. And just
how long is the wait for the opening?
For myself, when I got my real estate license in 2021, I got my pre-licensing done. I was ready to schedule my test. The next test day was 3 months out. Yeah. It was 90 days.
Wait. So you did all that studying, was ready to take the test, and you clicked the button, like, all right, let's go. It's like, you got 3 more months.
Yeah. So some of my colleagues, like for me personally, I was like, okay, well, I went to San Diego to take my test. So that chopped it down, right? If Sacramento, the timeline was shorter, but I wasn't trying to fly up there and everything like that.
Right.
So still, even at taking my test in San Diego, I was able to schedule my test for about 6 weeks out.
Okay.
So that's another thing is like, yeah, I don't want to forget everything I learned, right? But in that time, you're going to still be studying, taking your test. After you pass that test, you got to start shopping yourself.
So if you could explain, like, why do people start with, I guess, duplexes and triplexes then? Because I know you said you started with a condo. I started with a single family. So why do people start with duplexes and triplexes then?
It's a great question. So most people start with multifamily homes because there's automatic cash flow, right? If you're living in a unit, first of all, let me take a step back. You can qualify for a 1 to 4 unit with an FHA loan.
Okay.
Right? So that 3.5% lower down payment, you can get a 1 to 4 unit, and then those other 1 to 3 units, in addition to your own, we'll keep it simple with a duplex. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're buying a house. It's a 2-unit property. You're going to live in one. So you can do a FHA loan, 3.5% down. The other property is going to help subsidize your mortgage payment, right? So let's say you got a $3,000 mortgage payment for this duplex and you're charging $1,500 a month in that other unit.
Yeah.
You're only paying half of the mortgage. So that's a great reason. And that's one of the main
And you still get the equity too.
You still get the equity as your property. And qualifying for that duplex, you can use 75% of that projected rental income. So it helps you qualify as well for that property.
So they will, okay, let me get this right. So for new investors out there, if they go get a duplex, they are able to use the projected amount of cash flow, 75% of the projected amount of cash flow towards their income, what they would make. So debt to income shifts because of what they would be renting out their other unit for.
That's exactly it. So with the same scenario, right? I'm buying a duplex. I know I can rent this other unit out for $1,500. On paper, on my application, they're going to look at my income and then 75%, because they use a 25% vacancy factor, right? When you're switching tenants and everything like that.
Yeah.
So $1,125 is going to be added to my income to qualify for this property.
That's fire.
Yeah.
So I remember we were talking about a little bit, and this is going crazy now. People are looking to buy their own land and build on it. But I remember you told me about a loan that you wouldn't even have to make payments on for the first year.
Oh, yes. This is big. This is big right here. So this is either going to be in the form of And FHA, they call it a 203K loan.
Okay.
Fannie Mae conventional loans, they call it home style renovation loan.
Okay.
Even the VA has one, right?
Okay.
And so essentially what it is, right, is there needs to be a foundation on the property, right? So it's not vacant land. This is for a property with home on it.
Okay.
The idea is being able to buy this property below market value. And this is the biggest thing I stress right now is like not buying retail, right? So whichever way that happens, you can buy from a wholesaler. Maybe you had a conversation with the seller. They're very motivated to sell faster, so they agree to sell the house for less than what it's worth. I'm buying a $500,000 property for $300,000.
Okay.
These specific loans, the 203K, the home style renovation loan, are made so that you can finance in rehab costs to fix the home up to standard, right?
That's fire. Okay.
Now, what just happened in 2025 at the beginning of this year is these same programs now allow you to finance in up to the first 12 payments of this loan into that mortgage as well.
So you can basically roll everything into that loan.
You can roll everything in, right?
So fire.
$500,000 home. I got the purchase price for $300,000. I have to put $75K in to bring it up to standard, right? So we're at $375,000.
Yeah.
And then my first year of payments is going to be $18,000, right? So now we roll that in as well. So we're still getting all of that in for less than the value of the home, $500K. And the idea behind that is because if you're getting a home that needs work on it, you still have to live somewhere else. So they're going to let you, so, you know, instead of having to pay two rent pay or a mortgage and wherever you're renting or living at the time, you can roll it into the loan.
So the quicker you get the renovations done, the quicker you can live in that property and still not have to pay anything down for the first year.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Look,
this one right here. This one right here.
Y'all are welcome. Just say you're welcome. Just tell you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Y'all are welcome. I know y'all just heard the play he gave y'all. So investors out there, y'all looking to invest, y'all still are looking at a first-time home buyer loan, correct? And you just have to find a property that's undervalued, which is the name of the game,
right? And
build on it, and you're good to go. That's what investors want to do anyway.
That's what you want to do anyway. Yep. It puts you in that right frame of mind. As far as being a real estate investor, because the whole name of the game, like you said, is to get properties below market value. You got to create the equity on the way into the deal. That's where most of the money is made in real estate.
That is fire. So for people who already have houses and like, and they're thinking of like, okay, let me take some equity out and then let me go try to run that play. What would you like? They're thinking like, how do I tap into my home equity without losing my peace of mind? You feel what I'm saying? What would you tell them?
So that peace of mind is probably coming through the current interest rate that they have if they're already in a property, you know, versus what current market rates are right now, right? So one way to do so is with the second mortgage. That could be a home equity loan, a home equity line of credit, right? So to tap into your equity without having to basically lose that low interest rate and payment on your primary mortgage.
Right.
That's one way definitely to extract the equity so that you can reinvest.
Okay. And then for all the stuff you do, like, so you made 400 million from doing loans, 13 million from doing the real estate and income producing properties, all the stuff you do. What was somebody looking to do the things that you do? What's the first obstacle they're probably going to run into that would usually deter somebody from even continuing through? And maybe something that you went through, maybe something that you see in the industry, but something that, you know, like stops a lot of people from actually following through and getting to where you are, where you did do 400 million, you did do 13 million in income producing homes. So what would you say stops somebody that's getting started?
I got two things.
Oh, two.
So the first thing is the actual mortgage test. It's nothing less than a barrier of entry. It's so that the market's not flooded, to be honest with you. Most of the things that you have to memorize on that test and learn don't really get applied in the same sense when you're actively doing the business. The test is there so that people fail it. In fact, 80% of people fail the mortgage test on their first try. And I'm one of them. Yeah, like it has no correlation to how well you're going to do in the business. But sometimes people quit because of how hard the test is.
Wow.
So that's the first thing, is having the mindset that I'm going to pass this test. I don't care how many times it takes. That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is getting used to hearing no. Like, for me, over the course of my career, on average, I closed 2 loans out of every 100 leads. That's a 2% close rate, which is actually exceptional in this industry. So for every 100 leads that I get, right, I have to hear no 98 times. And a lot of people can't stomach hearing that, right?
Right.
So that's the second thing that I would say in regards to making sure that, you know, you're in it for the long run. You got to understand the nature of the business.
Right. So wrapping up, give the hungry listener a 30-day plan on just getting started to where you would be, where you're at right now. Just a 30-day plan, quick sprint on where you're at right now. What would you tell a listener?
Okay, so first step you want to do is you want to get your pre-licensing education, right?
Okay.
If you know nothing about real estate, that's going to be a good intro. It's going to give you some good information in regards to what to expect as a mortgage broker or loan officer. And also that's the first step so that you can actually schedule your test.
Okay.
You can knock that out pretty fast, and you can get your test scheduled in 30 days.
So you could do your pre-licensing and you can schedule a test in these next 30 days if you're really dedicated.
Absolutely. That's it.
You heard that? Okay. Okay. And then, so just one thing, and I like to do this with all my guests, but like one thing you would tell your younger self, and some advice you would give your younger self about being a dad, about being a hustler, about being an entrepreneur, about being just a successful person, how you are right now. Like, what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, one, create goals, stay focused on those goals, you know, try to limit your distractions. And then as far as fatherhood goes, and just, you know, correlating that to being a working professional, I would say that you have to make time, right? So for me, before being a father, like I told you, I was very selfish with my time, right? And so the other thing that I would say is that don't let moments pass you by, right? When my daughter wants me, she wants me to pick her up, she wants to go for a walk, you know, and I'm like, oh, I'm too busy to do it. But in reality, 15 minutes is not that long.
Right.
So that's what I would probably tell my younger self, those points.
So if anybody wanted to have you represent them, or they wanted you to look at their loan, look at their paperwork, or even work with you, where would they go? How would they reach you?
Yeah, the best way to reach me, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram, LT_the lender.
Okay.
So, I mean, I get back quick. You hit me on there. You can also do a little bit of research for me. Shout out my brokerage, West Capital Lending. If you go to westcapitallending.com, you can find my information there as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. And if he doesn't get back to you, somebody will get back to you, because everything is automated. So that's how we do around here. And all his links will be in the description. So make sure y'all go give him a follow. And if you need anything done, this the $400 million man. He gonna do it right. LT, my brother, I appreciate you, man. You know I love you, man. You my guy.
I love you
always.
Too.
And I'm glad you bless these people with that knowledge, that game from experience.
Brother.
And like y'all know, we're coming here every week with new episodes. So I appreciate y'all pulling up to From His Side. I'm Theron Loudermill, your host. And we'll see you next week talking about more millions, more fatherhood, and more faith. And don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, send it to a man that needs it. All that good stuff. So let's blow this channel up and get it cracking. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be blessed. I'm going to holler at you.